market regulator SEBI has asked the government to consider appropriate action against Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Industries for allegedly routing funds to dummy companies to buying large quantity of its shares in the year 2018. Now, Ashwin Punen has been on top of those news and he's joining us now live from our Mumbai newsroom. We've also got Bodhisattva Ganguly from the Economic Times joining us. Ashwin, we're going to start with you. Now, what exactly has SEBI communicated to the government?
SEBI has written to government asking to take action against Reliance Industries. It has written to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. In fact, this is a case related, it's an old case which happened in 2000 where SEBI had conducted an investigation and found that there were issues. Basically, what has happened in 2000 was that Reliance has issued shares to around 34 companies. This was about 12 crore shares of about 11% of the Reliance equity at that point of time was issued to these 34 entities, and when the shares were issued under a resolution which stated that Reliance will not have anything to do with these entities, but later it was found that these 34 entities were linked to the promoters and funds were transferred from Reliance for purchase of these shares.
Now, Ashwin, it's interesting that you mentioned that it's an old case and it was up for investigation in 2005. So, what's the legal opinion now that's being given?
In fact, SEBI had completed the investigation in 2005. And it was SEBI investigation has found that money had in fact moved from Reliance to these dummy companies, and which later bought these shares. And that investigation report was sent to given for a second opinion from a judge, retired judge Srikrishnas, and now the opinion has come from the judge who is saying that there are irregularities conducted by Reliance during this period, and action should be taken against it. And following that, SEBI has now moved the government, and because it's related to issue of shares, so it has written to the Corporate Affairs Ministry asking it to take appropriate action.
Let's get Bodhi in on this. Some serious, allegations they're coming. Bodhi, what's the penalty perhaps that SEBI could compound on RIL? What are the options really before SEBI?
Well, Tani, I think we need to be careful here, because we haven't been able to get a reaction from RIL. I mean, this being the story having sort of broken over the weekend on a Sunday. It's not very clear what the penalty is. I mean, this is this has gone on for. It's also quite sort of extraordinary. The whole thing has taken 9 years. It is quite possible, although we will have to do some further digging up, that this could be a compoundable case where essentially you pay a fine of some kind without necessarily admitting guilt. So it could be that could be one possible resolution. It's not very clear what else could be could be done in this case. I mean, you can't, for example, what do you do? I mean, even if without taking into account RIL's response, the fact is the SEBI investigation does appear to have found some level of irregularity, in terms of the connection between these 34 companies and the promoters of RIL. So anyway, so I think it's so SEBI, I think, will have to, but it could well be a compoundable offence. But that's something which we'll have to, all of us are trying to sort of feel our way through this case over a weekend period. So I think we'll have to find out if that is the case.